Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extirpation of undesirable beings, odors from another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark past has repeated itself?
Watch them and pray.
Good readings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, those who are disappointed by E3, and anybody who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Tasker, and we have Nick.
Here is me raising my hand. I am one of the individuals disappointed by this year's Electronics Expo.
Well, we're only not even halfway through it at this point of the recording, because by the time this episode posts, I think it's going to be either over or at least in time for the Nintendo one.
First off, nobody plays Nintendo games, all right?
Breath of the Wild 2,
This is not 1998. Nobody fucking plays Nintendo. The big one was today, Sunday, by the way. We record on Sundays. Was supposed to be Bethesda, Xbox, Square Enix, which I didn't have time to watch because we were recording. I think it's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
But I can tell you probably what's happening right now with Square Enix. It's shit. Just like the rest of fucking E3 has been shit.
Is that so? Hold on, let me pull it up right now, see where they're at. Okay, some dude talking. So Neo and Ninja Gaiden developer is making a Final Fantasy origin story. That's cool.
Oh, good. Another Final Fantasy. Where the fuck are the original games at? I'm tired of sequels. I'm tired of remakes. I'm tired of fucking 16 long series games. We need to stop making Final Fantasy games and start making other shit. Oh, this is the problem.
You're gonna love this. There's a new game, Babylon's Fall, which is you have a take about this. It's a new live service co-op game.
Oh my God. Okay, look, just because Left 4 Dead is a successful series from fucking 12 years ago doesn't mean that everybody can just all of a sudden jump on the hype train of having a co-op game. All that I've seen at E3 so far are co-op games against either vampires, zombies, or aliens. All right? I'm sick of it. I'm tired of seeing it. It's the new Battle Royale. Remember when fucking Fortnite came out and everybody started doing Battle Royales and shit? Call of Duty had a mode and all that.
Right.
Now the big thing is 4-player co-op against horde-style enemies.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm tired of it. The only one I'm excited for is Back 4 Blood because Turtle Rock is involved. Everybody else can go fuck themselves.
Well, I myself am pretty... The one thing I've taken away, which to me it's made the whole experience better, is Elden Ring. It's just Dark Souls, but with the new Game of Thrones skin, but not really.
Oh, good. Another fucking Dark Souls type game. We had Bloodborne, we had the Dark Souls series with Demon Souls and all that. We have all that stuff. Why can't we have is it like movies now where we have nothing nothing new to bring to the table, so we reskin old things and we remaster everything, or we just do a 17th or 19th or 20th sequel to Final Fantasy? Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, I mean, it's made by the developers of Dark Souls. It's basically
so it is.
It's from
so they're
software,
not branching
yeah.
out either.
No.
Okay, good for them. Okay, cool.
But it's
Awesome,
open world and they have a horse now.
Oh, good. Oh, that changes everything.
See, I think you're frustrated because you're not getting games of your genre that you're interested in, like this one that got recommended to me on Steam the other day called Sex with the Devil. What's your initial impression of that?
My initial impression is this should have been showcased at E3.
Now it's available on Steam for $4.99. There was a choice review I felt I should share with you, Nick, and maybe this might improve your mood before we jump into part 2 of one of our biggest alien exposés on our show. So how do you feel about that?
Whatever you can do to help distract me from the fact that it's been 3 years since we have heard about Elder Scrolls 6 and they refuse to give us any fucking information today about it.
Yeah.
Whatever you could do to distract me from that. Dude, I will dude, Todd Howard he's asking for it, man. I'm gonna give him a fucking wedgie.
You're gonna use your reverse engineer your VPN to find his exact location and take him out.
Give him a swirly, dude. He fucking, what a nerd. Pissing me off. Yeah, distract me.
Okay. So, Sex with the Devil. Let me read its description first. What is forgiveness and what is a lie? Where does desire end and vice begin? This project will allow you to ask these and many other frank questions about the greatest personification of evil in human culture. The ancient tempter always liked to watch your sinful life, and after your death, you appear before him in hell. Knowing that you can induce people to fall into sin on social networks, Satan offers to have fun and play a game. The reward will be answers to your deepest questions and fulfillment of your carnal desires.
Okay, real quick, before you continue with this, I need to ask this question because that's the description of the game, right?
Right.
So it's called Sex with the Devil, but it's a dude?
Yeah,
it's kind of gay.
Well, let me read you this in-depth review where it's they do it very quick and easy, and you'll get the gist of what the point of it is. It's not all just gay stuff. That's only just one part of the game. So, sexual content level is lots of fetishes. The sexual content present includes oral, vaginal, anal, masturbation, masochism, and sadism, homosexual, disturbing horror themes, hermaphrodites, rape, dismemberment, and scat. First, and the personal thoughts details. First of all, let me warn you, don't be fooled by the screenshot of the cute demon girl with purplish hair. She is in the game, but there's only a blowjob scene with her. The rest of the sexual content is highly disturbing. Basically, you're a guy who just like jerks off all the time and then dies for jerking off too much or sucking his own dick and then wakes up in hell. And then Satan tells you to like go through mazes and every time you complete an objective for him, he lets you just have sex however the fuck you want with whatever you want. This is the point I think you'd be interested in. The sexual content. It is messed up. By far the most messed up stuff I've seen in a Steam game ever. One of the endings features the devil turning you into a woman, fucking you, chopping your arm off, and then shoving it up your vagina.
That's fucking awesome.
Also includes a scene featuring you and the devil relieving each other in each other's mouths.
Oh, yeah.
Human centipede, but demonic version. Deformed non-humans and disgusting demons. And a hermaphrodite demonic centaur.
Whoa, yeah? Hey, what's this game called again?
Sex with the Devil.
Hey, man, that is now I judged it prematurely. I thought it was going to be some dumb game that was going to hold back punches. That sounds like a pretty fun game. That sounds like the type of game that we should probably play, maybe live stream it on YouTube or something.
Possibly.
For our fans, because I'll buy a shit out of that. I'll buy it a couple times to support the devs.
There's literally a screen cap of some naked woman who's shaved bald and her mouth is a vagina.
Oh, man, I like this. Send me the link. I'm gonna buy this game.
So if that doesn't put you in the mood for today's episode, I don't know what will.
I mean, it has nothing to do with the episode, but I have completely forgotten about E3 at this point. That's awesome, man. Wait, so you're telling me? So now, see, that's not that bad, right? So like, I thought it was just gonna be like a romance novella type game where you're just like you're being like seduced by Satan, but no, it's like he turns you into a lady and fucks you. It's like, oh, that's it, man. That's rad. Yeah. That's metal, and then rips your arm off and then fingers you with your own whole arm. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, basically.
Man, dude, what are they going to come up with next? See, why wasn't that at E3, dude? That would have fucking made waves. That would have been like it.
The public outcry would have been interesting. But I think the problem is the game is already complete. It's online. It's been online.
But they need to promote that shit, man. That's awesome. Good. Oh, what's the graphics look like? Is it it's like from the screenshots that you can see, is it good? Or for $5, I'm not expecting much, but
better than you'd think you'd get for $5.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm fucking in like Flynn. I know what I'm doing tonight.
Good fucking Lord. All right. Let's blast through some horoscopes and get to the episode. I think we've deviated on fucking dismemberment, sexual intercourse, and video games for enough time, you think?
Yeah, I mean, hermaphrodites, nothing wrong with that, man.
Hey, it's whatever floats your goat, man. Which also could be a fetish. So sorry for anybody who's now rock hard.
I am.
Yeah.
All right. So who's first on horoscopes today?
I don't know. So I'll just go first, real quick.
Cool.
All right. It's a good day to speak your mind, Scorpio. Not that you generally have much trouble with this, but even you can face situations where you feel intimidated and hesitant to speak up. Not today. There aren't going to be any circumstances you can't handle because the astral energy will boost your abilities. If there's someone you've been reluctant to approach, make a move to talk to him or her. Well, I spoke up about sex with the devil, the lovely recommendation from Steam. Other than that, no, I think all my bases are covered.
Okay. All right. So you have nothing you want to say to me?
Nah, nothing that isn't just some dumb shit or meme.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Sex is a 3 out of 5, hustle 4 out of 5, vibe 4 out of 5, success 2 out of 5. To get my energy out of how this episode's going to go, sounds like it's going to be mildly above average.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Who needs high success on a Sunday? Nobody.
Nah. Keep holy the Lord's Day.
Yeah, don't you fucking do that. All right, so if you've been tired lately, Cancer, it may be due to stress. Today's aspects brings an added energy to communication. It would be wise to talk about some of the stress. Worry, anxiety, and fear are huge drains on physical and emotional health. Exercise can alleviate some of these. For others, talking is key. Find the most effective ways to rid yourself of such energy drains and feel better.
Huh.
Fairly relevant. I have been pretty stressed lately, just with some shit going on behind the scenes that the listeners don't want to hear about.
Right.
So I have been kind of stressed. But I work out. That helps a little bit.
Yeah. What kind of problems in the middle of nowhere do you have to deal with? It's like a Courage the Cowardly Dog kind of stress of like fucking Ghost of Ramses is like haunting you.
Yeah, dude. I just hear noises outside my house all the time, and there's dead cows showing up on my doorstep. Yeah, all kinds of stress, man. All kinds of stress.
Damn.
Like that,
Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers, E3, all that shit stresses you out.
All in the same category.
Yeah, just as scary. But it's interesting. Maybe I will talk to somebody, not professionally, because therapists are for weirdos, but
or the rich.
I'll find somebody. Stars. Not awesome. Sex is a 3 out of 5. Vibe is a 2 out of 5. Hustle's a 4 out of 5. Success is a 2 out of 5.
So you're rocking a hard eight.
I'm eight today.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about your favorite thing. So maybe that'll help you more.
I think it will, man. I'm pretty excited for today's episode. It's going to be dope. I hope, first off, I want to say I hope all y'all enjoyed last episode. I hope now you understand how weird and devastating the real Men in Black can be when you're not thinking about the movie.
Right. And as the whole point of this series is when you think MIB, the idea of that Will Smith no longer appears in your head. So it's probably been a week by now since you listened to the last one, unless you're binge watching, in which case, like, get ready for your favorite brainwashing you'll ever get. That could be a good tagline for our podcast.
Your favorite brainwashing?
Yep, the best brainwashing you ever got.
Yeah, buddy. I always said, man, this will turn into a cult.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. Well, actually, there's a lot of things wrong with that, but we're just going to roll with it because it benefits us.
Yeah, see, that's thinking like a cult leader there.
But yeah, no, the idea is Will Smith should no longer be in your head at this point, and we're going to just drill it further of how fucked up this shit can get. I mean, I'm kind of talking out of my ass right now. I didn't read the outline. I don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, you're not wrong. So with today's episode, guys, like last week, we went through the 1950s to the 1960s. As far as case files go, we did briefly discuss the 1940s. But today's episode is going to be from the 1970s to the modern era, the new millennium, if you will. And going through some more case files. So Tasker's not wrong. Today's episode will be more examples of why the Men in Black are freaky and the type of people that they tend to target, right? Mm-hmm. And then stay tuned, of course, for next week's episode where we're going to discuss like the highly anticipated theories of what they could be, the things that we've been kind of like talking about, but trying not to talk too much about, right? So that's going to be fun. Mm-hmm. But for today's episode, we got to talk more about the case files through time.
Right. So, yep, we're going through. Oh, we're even going to pass through the 90s on this one. Are we going to see any like in sync action or?
Man, I'll sing and sing for you guys once we get there if you want. If you want, I'll sing a song from every decade. I don't give a fuck.
If you got them, I say go for it.
Well, without further delay, guys, I want you to hop into your old 1940s unrecognizable model black car, rough up some UFO nerds like myself. Okay, rough them up a little bit. And then disappear into the night after you give them a wedgie, because we're diving right in.
Yep, we're back, baby. Another fat one today.
41 pages.
This is a big boy outline, so we're gonna do our best. So hang in there. I hope you're driving up the coast or something.
Yeah, if you guys are driving, you're gonna have a groovy time. If you're at home, get some alcohol. There's gonna be an alcohol episode, and it's also a notebook episode.
a whiskey swisher next to the fireplace kind of time.
Oh hell yeah! I also if you're a lady, I want you to stretch out on that bear rug in front of your fireplace, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you're 18 and over, and then
That's right, because if you didn't clarify that, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, and then dudes, keep your clothes on.
Yeah,
all right.
Or take them off too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Show some butt.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not like against it. Like I've said before, none of us are 100% straight, but I mean, shave your ass at least first, and then take your clothes off.
Yeah, Nick, way to go during Pride Month of all times.
Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect person. Okay, I have a pride flag outside my house right now.
This is true. Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing my part.
Yeah. The Pride Month equivalent of thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, dude. So that way, when I have my pride flag out there and I have proof of it, then I can say whatever I want and not feel bad.
That's one way that's a very Catholic way of thinking of things.
Oh yeah.
All right. That aside, let's do what we came here to do.
All right. So when we last left off in the late 1960s, discussing the connection between Mothman and the Men in Black. Now, we are almost done with the 1960s. I clickbaited you a little bit, guys, because we haven't fully covered everything I wanted to cover yet. It's going to be very quick. So instead of a full-blown case files, we will be talking about two instances of the Men in Black allegedly being captured on camera in the late 1960s. Because these are very important cases, but we'll go through them briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these two photos we will discuss can be found on Google if any of you are curious, and we'll also put them up on our social media as well when this episode drops. So by the time you're hearing this, you should be able to see on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook the two photos discussed here.
Also, if anything on E3 surprises us, we'll be posting that too.
Oh, yeah. If they actually come out with an original game that doesn't look like shit. By the way, why the fuck did I get the next gen Xbox if all the games coming out are like either cartoony or pixelated? Fucking riddle me that, dude. Let me push the GPU to the limit a little bit. God damn.
Remember the day when we got like reveals like BioShock and just completely new cool things?
Yeah, and now the most anticipated game coming up is this dumb, like, cartoony furry fox game. I forgot what it's called. I was watching it yesterday, just like with my gun to my head, just wondering like how far we've fallen.
Yeah, one could say there's a lot of concern for the future, but
Anyway, it's frustrating. I'm getting mad again. Okay, so like I said, check out those two photos. You'll see them on our social media. Now, the first instance begins with a man named Timothy Green Beckley, a longtime UFO researcher, and his buddy Jim Moseley, who we discussed briefly last episode, if you'll remember. Now, Beckley and Moseley were friends with another prominent member of the UFO community named Jack Robertson, who was the secretary for the National UFO Conference. Very fancy.
Whoa. All these cool titles.
Right? Just all fucking fake, too. So Robertson lived in Jersey City, which I'm sorry to hear. And this particular incident took place in 1968. So Jack Robertson had a wife named Mary. And Mary was a pretty rad lady. She was pretty tubular, okay? She was psychic and would oftentimes use Ouija boards. She interacted with fairies that were in the woods out on the outskirts of their apartment in Jersey City, which is pretty dope. and would notice strange ghostly activity throughout their home from time to time. So she was in touch with the spiritual world, if you will.
Damn, that sounds like the type of girl you meet and then ruins your life very quickly.
It's 100%. Like, you know, these types of girls, dude, like they're into rad stuff, but my God, they are so mentally unstable.
That's the trade-off. Same could be said about dudes. Same could be said about us.
It's probably me too. Like, I'm into rad stuff, but I'm super mentally unstable. So
it's all about finding the perfect balance of crazy. Nobody's completely sane.
Exactly. Damn straight. So, but also one could probably make the connection that mental instability and the ability to interact with the spirit world and the fairy world and stuff there might be a connection there, right? Something open in their minds that makes them seem wacko to us, but then they have this crazy ability to interact with spirits. I don't know.
Yeah, we've kind of like touched on that, I think, where it's like, it's about perception. And by perceiving one thing kind of lets you perceive the whole spectrum of things. And there's I think a big theme with this Men in Black series is connections and the fact that all this paranormal supernatural stuff might be, all you need is the right lens and you can see it all. And that's like the thing that everybody's missing is the lens. And this whole episode is just kind of to like, you know, really mold that idea together.
That's a very sophisticated and fucking had a stroke.
That's okay. Watch your face go pale.
A very linear, very nice way to put that, Tasker. You wrapped it up perfectly. And yes, we will be getting into it next episode more, but you're totally right. You're totally 100% right.
Too bad I don't believe in any of it, but whatever.
You will after this.
All right, enlighten me.
Okay, so there was a period of time when Mary Robertson, began to notice a strange-looking man dressed in old black business attire and, of course, like a fedora hat, hanging out in a doorway across from their apartment building, in the doorway of another apartment building across the way, basically. So here is a quote from Beckley regarding what Mary said to him about the situation. Quote, "Mary told me and Jim he seemed to be oddly dressed and kind of like a zombie, just standing there very rigid." Rigid. She had never engaged him in dialogue, but he seemed to be surveying those going in and out of the building, unquote. So this dude in black was just posted up every day in the morning looking at who's coming in and out of the Robertson's apartment building, basically.
Where is this again? Jersey?
Jersey.
So it could just be a local.
I mean, it could be a local, but in Jersey City, if you see a dude in a suit, that's, you know.
Your first indication that something's wrong.
Yes. I mean, that's me being discriminatory, but also probably correct.
Oh, my God.
So after this revelation from Mary, strange things began to happen around the Robertsons' apartment. For instance, when using the telephone, they would notice clicking sounds, much like the telltale signs of being wiretapped.
Ooh. Well, wait. Do you have like a list of telltale signs of being wiretapped?
Not a whole list. I mean, that's it. Like, you usually don't know if you're being wiretapped, but if you hear interference over the phone, that's a pretty good sign that you are being wiretapped.
Oh.
Except for this day and age when we have cell phones and there's interference due to, you know, a lack of service or a drop in service or something like that.
So we're not wired in completely.
Exactly. But on landlines, if you start hearing interference, there shouldn't be any, right?
I see.
Also, the Robertsons' UFO files, much like our boy Albert Bender's back in the day, had been rifled through and some of items may have been missing. Again, kind of like well, I mean, what else do you expect from the Men in Black situation, right?
Mm-hmm. Kind of mysterious, a little spooky and supernatural.
Now, as the activity progressed, Mary became more and more upset by everything going on. As you know, people who are in tune with the spiritual world are usually quite emotionally sensitive, right?
Did you just like nut?
Yeah, that was weird.
You're that into the emotionally sensitive, huh?
So all this crap was freaking her out pretty bad. over time. And so what she started doing was she began to call Beckley and Mosley so often in the morning about that man in black who she would see outside the apartment that they decided to drive by one morning without telling her in order to catch a glimpse of this guy for themselves, because nobody but Mary had seen this dude yet, right? They don't know if she fucking lost her mind, if she's like a crazy person, which she might, I don't know, she might be, but like maybe she actually is seeing this crap. But one thing I did want to point out was she seems to talk to Beckley and Mosley a lot, but not her husband. I don't know where her husband is this whole time. Robert, but whatever. So Beckley and Mosley are probably Eiffel Towering.
Yeah, I was going to say, sounds like there might be something a little bit deeper going on here, but
but anyway, so they wanted to go see this guy for themselves, right? They were like, we've heard enough stories. Let's see if she's legit. So the two men put their plan into action, and one morning in 1968 drove to Jersey City to do a drive-by of the Robertson's apartment building at the usual time that Mary would see this guy. Quote, "This was a narrow street Jack and Mary lived on, and we were following the traffic, and people were double parked in some places. So we're driving down the street, and sure enough, next to Mary's building, there's this guy standing recessed into the building, like not on the sidewalk, a bit back in. He's kind of staring ahead, and he just looks like a man in black," unquote. Now, Mosley was the one driving, so Beckley picked up his camera, leaned out of the window, and took the now infamous photo of the man in black. And I should note that they were following the flow of traffic and could not stop. So they flipped a bitch up ahead to circle around in an attempt to see the strange man again. However, by the time they got back to that area, he had disappeared, which is a commonality with the man in black. They just seem to vanish.
I'm looking at the photo now. It's that thing. He's just kind of like, he's wearing like a top hat.
Yeah, he's got like a fancy hat on.
Well, that's kind of neat. Yeah, he does. Look creepy.
It's kind of creepy, right?
Oh, yeah. Very creepy.
So they turned around, trying to find him, disappeared. And now here is another quote from Beckley about that particular situation. Now, these quotes are important. That's why I'm throwing them in here. Quote, "The strange thing is that after the man vanished that morning, Mary said he never appeared again. I feel today that me and Jim were stalking fucking Jesus Christ. That me and Jim were stalking Mary's man in black. And I think that if that's what you do, if you start to get on their case, they vanish quickly," unquote. So what he's saying basically is if you then flip the table on these dudes and you start harassing them, they back off.
Weird. So it's not too bad to thwart them. They don't want, their whole thing is being covert throughout the whole thing. Like they don't want to be found.
Exactly. And one might say, well, that's kind of a strange thing to want to do if you're dressed like that, right? If you're dressed like a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, they're kind of like standing out. So what gives?
Exactly. And that's something that we'll talk about in one of the theories on the next episode. Stay tuned. The next instance, so that was the first instance of alleged photographic evidence of the man in black. Let's get into the second one. The next one is
you got this.
The next one took place in 1969.
Hey, very nice.
And this particular incident surrounds a man named Alan Greenfield, a man who has long chronicled the men in black. He's one of these dudes in the ufology community who's particularly interested in the men in black phenomenon. Now, something of interest to note before getting into this tale is best told straight from the horse's mouth. Quote, "I did not mention my men in black experience for many years because I'm not a part of the phenomenon. I try to stay in the historian/investigator category. And if I had not been with a huge group of fellow ufologists, I probably would have never told this story. But there are living witnesses to it," unquote.
Oh, so we got lucky.
Oh, we got very lucky that he was with a group of fucking UFO nerds today. Okay. So here's how the story goes. Greenfield was attending New Falk, right?
New Falk. It's the new way to bring your lady to bed.
Which is an abbreviation, of course, of the National UFO Conference on the weekend of June 24th, 1969. This conference was taking place in Charleston, West Virginia. Now, there were many people around the conference, right? UFO friends and researchers, authors, members of the press, the whole thing. It was actually kind of a big deal. It was kind of like a con before cons were a thing.
Are there still like UFO like conferences and stuff like that go on? I mean, obviously not with the pandemic, but like once it's over, are there some?
There are a couple big ones. MUFON holds annual conferences they call symposiums. And then there's a big one that takes place, and I forgot what it's called. Is it just called Alien Con? I forgot what it's called, but it's massive. And it's just a bunch of, I want to go to it one day, but it's just a bunch of fucking people who either think they were abducted and they're like crazy rednecks, or people who are there ironically and buying like alien merch.
So I was going to say, it might not be a bad idea, maybe sometime in the future, me planning the podcast on the podcast, but like, dude, if we had enough money in a free weekend, we could probably like set up a table there.
That would be a lot of fun, dude. That would be a lot of fun. Holy shit.
So if it depends if we could pull it off. But of course, obviously, if we do, we'll make a post about it. And hey, we could even like meet some of you guys, and Nick can yell at you in your face.
I will fucking yell at you. If you want me to yell at you, I'll do that. If you want me to give you a wedgie, I'll do that too.
And for those fetishists out there, it's your lucky day.
Yeah, I'm into whatever. So.
Oh, man. Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah, we'll think about it.
But yeah, so this New Falk thing was basically like Comic-Con before Comic-Con. It was big. But there was one person at the conference who was strange, like a bit strange, and stood out like a parrot amongst ravens, right? Just something about this dude wasn't sitting right with some of the con goers.
And that's kind of impressive to pull off at a ufology conference, I imagine.
If you stand out amongst hordes of UFO nerds, yeah, something's wrong with you. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty out there.
So this person, of course, was dressed in all black attire and dark sunglasses. Indoors. I wear my sunglasses at night so I can, what
is that we're in 69. Was that around when that song came out?
I'm sorry, no, that was an 80s song, but hearing sunglasses indoors reminded me of sunglasses at night for some reason. So
okay,
my autistic brain just started singing.
I mean, it was a good sing song. I just wasn't sure if the correlation was there with the time frame.
Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to be singing songs with the decades. We'll start in the 70s. It's a little late, but we'll start with the 70s.
We're still in the 60s, like you said, clickbait. So we'll give you the full experience soon.
Well, Greenfield and his UFO pals, about a dozen of them, right? So there's quite a few witnesses here, decided to grab a bite to eat for lunch at a restaurant across from the conference. So while they were eating, who showed up to the restaurant but that strange man dressed in black from the conference? When he entered the establishment, he started to hover around Greenfield's table, kind of like he didn't know what to do, but he was trying to keep an eye on this group. Like he was just kind of like walking around, twiddling his thumbs, doing this whole fucking thing. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's a really weird thing to do in a restaurant too, where it's almost like he's trying to look for a seat, but he's also checking that same seat that he checked 5 minutes ago over and over again.
Like Niles Crane from fucking Frasier, like wiping down his seat like he's got OCD. Yeah, this dude's sticking out, right?
Got it.
Now, upon doing so, Greenfield was able to get a better look at this man. He said that the man was very pale, which we've come to expect, but he had a putty-like, and that's in quotes, a putty-like appearance. I don't know he didn't elaborate on what this means, but I only assume, and from looking at the picture, he's kind of fat, okay? Yeah. Which is something we usually don't see with Men in Black. But like I said, that description I gave at the top of the first episode, it's just a general, there are different appearances that they can be seen as. So as Greenfield was watching this dude, he also was able to note the way that he carried himself and moved, right? So I know at the top of last episode, we talked about how they move very strangely.
Right.
And this is no exception. So he had very rigid, robotic body movements. So some of these are classic signs of the Men in Black. Some of these are not. Well, Greenfield was sitting there with his buddies trying to enjoy his fucking Grand Slam or whatever. I don't know where they were eating, probably at Denny's, who knows. So he started to become very frustrated at the fact that he was being stalked by what looked like a fucking Blues Brother. Okay.
Yeah. I'm pulling it up and he just looks like a really fucking annoying like nerd.
Yeah. He looks like a douchebag. Greenfield confronted the strange man and asked him why he was following him and his friends around. The man in black turned around and stiffly walked towards the door in a robotic manner without saying anything. Greenfield chased the man outside with his camera, which was around his neck, and asked him, "Who are you?" And the man in black replied by saying, quote, "I am a man in black in training," unquote. Okay, now Greenfield snapped the photo of the man, the photo which Tasker is currently looking at, and hopefully the photo that you are looking at on our social media. The second photo. The man walked quickly around the corner of the building, and upon following him, Greenfield discovered he had disappeared, never to be seen again. Now, I have a couple problems with this encounter, specifically the way this Man in Black looks in the picture, as you are all seeing now, and the fact that he said, "I am a man in black in training." Tasker, what are your initial thoughts when you look at this photo?
He just looks like some fucking nerd pretending to be a man in black, and it's just really fucking weird.
Precisely. He looks autistic. He's wearing now all of the Men in Black we've talked about thus far have been wearing business attire, I would say level attire, all black suits with a white shirt. Okay. Kind of sharp looking. This dude is wearing a turtleneck, a black turtleneck, and a black like a dress coat over it, and a white fedora or like a Tribbley hat.
Yeah, it's very contrasty and not in a good way.
So, and the sunglasses, right? He's wearing his sunglasses like he's the hottest shit on earth. So me personally, I don't like, and now it's hard, right? It's hard to think about this because given everything else we've heard in this story, it seems kind of Man in Blacky, walking like a fucking robot, disappears around the corner, not to be seen again, that kind of stuff that we are used to hearing about with the Men in Black. However, He just doesn't look like it because not only is the attire off, he said he's a man in black in training, which why would you ever admit that if you were a man in black in training? Unless you didn't hit that level of your training yet where you're not supposed to say that.
But like, why would they deploy you if you weren't at that level though?
That's a damn good question, right? And also he's fat. And from what I've heard, I don't think that they have the ability to put on weight because they're not human.
I think considering the fact that it's a UFO conference and that most people here are super like into everything and know a bunch about ufology, like it wouldn't be too far-fetched to think one nerd really just like took it like to the point of like, I'm gonna dress up like a fucking man in black and like scare some people and like do something like that and be like and just commit to it, you know. So I feel like the other ones are really creepy and weird, and I mean the only thing I guess that's kind of unexplainable is how he just like vanishes. But like, who knows? There's also that whole hiding in plain sight where all you gotta do is take off the hat, take off the glasses, have your second shirt under you, and then just throw it away and then just walk away.
Yeah, I mean, that's very well could be the case. So I'm going to say hard maybe on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is the one where I'm kind of like, I think it was just some nerd pulling some bullshit.
Yeah, the world's first cosplay.
Yeah, cosplay and acting.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to briefly touch on the last of the 1960s we had to cover, which were those two photographs. Now let's move on to the 1970s, right? The decade where ladies didn't wear bras or shave their armpits, and men wore tight bell bottoms and danced to disco unironically.
Mm-hmm. Was this I just watched fucking Rambo. Was this Vietnam era?
Yes, it was.
Ah,
yeah, late 60s to the late 70s, yes.
All right, so that's all going on right now.
Now, now, now. Dude, they're in the trees, man. So our first story out of the 70s is about a woman named Patricia Hyde in July of 1972. She was formerly employed by the FBI and had her very own encounter with the Men in Black. So on a warm summer night in July of that year, around 9 p.m., Hyde saw a UFO in the skies of Arcadia, Florida. Earth's butthole.
That's one way to put it.
Now, Hyde was mesmerized by her experience, and because of that, she started to delve into the, how do I put it? The sticky, pungent world of the paranormal and the UFOs, right? Once you start going down that rabbit hole, you stop showering, both out of laziness and you don't want your pineal gland to be calcified by the hard water.
Right.
It's a very weird thing to go down, but she decided to go down that path because of that one UFO encounter she had. She was hooked.
Mm-hmm. And that eternal paranoia and questioning of what's real and what's not, that's a stank that you can never wash off.
No, because people will smell it on you a mile away.
I know Nick can.
Okay, so during this research into the UFO phenomenon, not long after her UFO sighting, right, a strange-looking man in black clothing with, quote, deeply slanting eyes, unquote, visited her apartment.
Oh, boy.
Racist, right off the bat. This man got straight to the point while talking to her, saying, quote, Miss Hyde, you will stop investigating flying saucers, unquote. So after that initial visit from the man in black, concurrent visits took place at her apartment. Enough that she did indeed give in and quit her research into the UFO phenomenon. This is a short one. That was a short story, but we don't have a lot of details because she was afraid of her connection with the FBI because she was formerly employed and didn't want to give too much details, right?
So
Smart
limited
move,
info.
probably.
Yeah. Well, it's probably it's surprising then that we even got this much information.
Yeah, dude. Nick Redfern, the author of this book, is a beast. He pumps out these fucking books. He talks to a lot of different people. Highly recommend reading this book and his other books on cryptozoology.
Ooh, what's his name again?
Nick Redfern.
Nick Redfern. Okay.
Another encounter with the Men in Black happened to a man named Lauren Coleman, which, by the way, is a girl's name.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was objecting to that.
But he's a man.
Oh, I see. I don't know why I decided to just. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too busy like thinking about like E3.
That's fine. I'm glad you got your new Dark Souls fix, but I wanted something new.
Oh boy. Anyways, getting distracted. So it's a man named Lauren.
Yes. So our boy Lauren is a prominent cryptozoologist, right? A man after my own heart. He loves them cryptids. And during the time of his encounter, Coleman was researching the saga of what is known as the Mad Gasser of Mattoon.
What?
Okay, I'm not getting into it here because it will probably be a really dope episode in the future. So I'm going to be stealing that. Just off the name, you could probably guess. And I'll give you a brief rundown. So the Mad Gasser Mattoon was this dude who used to gas people and do things to them.
Oh, so not like the fun like fart gas, like the dangerous like kidnapper gas.
Like a knockout. Yeah, like a knockout gas. Like, does it smell like chloroform? Like that.
Okay. So slightly less funny.
Yeah, but still kind of.
Yeah. Jeez.
So the particular Mad Gasser case that he was researching took place in 1944, a while before the Men in Black were even in the public eye. Remember that. However, some of the Mad Gasser cases had overlap with the types of experiences people report of the Men in Black. He was also looking into the case of the Enema Bandit. And it's probably what
I just got to point out. This happened last episode, and I didn't point it out, and you told me to tell you if it happens again. My thing automatically scrolled for a second.
That's not good. That's probably not a good sign.
Oh, and
Tell the listeners what happened last week. Tell them what's going on.
yeah, so we have the outline up in like a Google Doc, and then it'll just like, I mean, Nick sees me on camera, like my hand is on my balls and stuff. Like I'm not touching my keyboard or my mouse, and it just randomly bloop, just goes down like a twinge. And this has only happened during the MIB episodes.
Yeah, see, that's not good.
But as we figured out, the best way to get them to leave you alone is just to confront them, be like, "Hey, what the fuck you doing? You trying to follow me?" And then they're like, "Oh."
Or you start following them.
You got to stalk them right back.
Out, man.
Got it. So, yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. It's kind of creepy.
That is a little creepy. Let me know if it happens again.
Yep, absolutely.
So he was also looking into the case of the Enema Bandit.
I'm sorry, I love this, like, really serious, like, oh, fuck, anyways, let's go back to talk about enemas.
Yeah. Oh, and so, by the way, I don't know a lot about the Enema Bandit because this is not a true crime podcast, but I imagine it's exactly what it sounds like, okay? Now, if I was somebody named the Enema Bandit, my MO would be to give people forced enemas and then steal all their money.
See, that's what I kind of thought this was about, but it's not.
I don't know. But it's what he was working on that caught the attention. That's why we're talking about these two cases he was looking at. So whatever the connection between the Mad Gasser, the Enema Bandit, and the Men in Black had, it caught somebody's attention. Okay? Because late at night, there was a tapping upon Coleman's chamber door, quoth the raven evermore. Right?
Good poem.
Quote, a darkly suited, very thin man who said he was with the Decatur Police Department stepped into my life. He identified himself as...
Sounds like a romance novel.
Yeah, I mean, it probably ends with an enema.
Probably.
He identified himself as Detective Lieutenant Applegate. I don't recall seeing an ID, as those were much more trusting days. He said he was checking to see if I was the Enema Bandit and why I was digging into this story. He said I should stop researching this series of cases. It was a startling encounter. He justified this by noting that since the Enema Bandit appeared to like media attention, he did not say how he knew this. I was targeting myself with all my letters asking for articles on the Enema Bandit. It seemed to make sense at the time, unquote. So basically, upon looking into the Mad Gasser and the Enema Bandit cases, he was visited by a man claiming to be from the local police department saying, hey, cut the shit out.
Okay. So not super unfounded. Like it could happen, but it seemed like you said, a little bit more eerie than a regular policeman would be. Exactly.
Because nobody has the fuck, except for Christina, has the last name Applegate. All right. It's a fake ass name.
Yep. A pseudonym.
A few days later, after stewing a bit, Coleman decided to check in with the DPD to see if this Lieutenant Applegate was in. And it turns out that they never had anyone employed with them with the last name Applegate.
Mm-mm.
And one last chilling revelation from Coleman about this encounter. He said, quote, years later, in doing more work on names, I discovered that Applegate was another name for the devil in some literature. It was very spooky encounter, unquote.
A little pretentious of the Man in Black to go for a reference for your name, but whatever floats your goat.
There's two options here. Either he was pretentious and read a lot of literature and thought he'd be cool with the last name Applegate, or it's something that we'll talk about next episode because it is a creepy connection.
Oh, I think I see where you're going with this, but yeah, we'll leave that for the speculation.
Exactly. Our next encounter in the 70s begins on May 3rd, 1975, when a man in Mexico City flying his Piper Aztec 24 aircraft spotted a UFO above the city. What the hell is a Piper Aztec 24 aircraft?
Let's find out. Okay. Piper. Let me just copy paste.
Don't tell me. Okay, look up the picture, but don't tell me yet. Can I try and describe it without knowing what it looks like first?
Sure.
Okay. So it's from Mexico. It's
Okay.
Mexican aircraft. So I assume there's a couple of piñatas dangling from beneath it.
Mhm.
perhaps running on Patron, right, as a fuel source.
Right.
And instead of like ethanol, and instead of having like metal, like an actual metal frame, it's made out of wood and duct tape.
Incorrect. It is a small, looks like possibly amphibious plane that can seat maybe like 6 people.
Okay, so it's a little tiny, like a private plane kind of type of
Yeah,
thing.
it's an itty bitty plane.
So my racist guess was wrong.
100%.
Okay, good. Just checking.
But hey, you get a medal for trying, because that's this day and age where you got to get a participation ribbon. Otherwise, you're a fucking shithead or something.
Yeah, and I'll cut myself if I don't.
I'm glad I could save your life for this episode.
Thank you. So this man who spotted the UFO while flying in his airplane was named Carlos Antonio de los Santos Montiel, a.k.a. Tasker's long-lost uncle.
Okay. I'm going to really laugh if I thought, well, no, actually, bloodline-wise, if we really go way back, I mean, at this point, it's so far removed, it probably doesn't even matter anymore. But like, yeah, I used to, way down in my family line, I was related to like this really wealthy Mexican landowner that apparently is taught about in their like history books. And we're related to the one brother who's like, screw you, I'm going to go to California and make my fortune there. And we see how well that worked.
Yeah, look at you guys now marrying Irish people.
It's nobody could have predicted the 2020s being as they are.
Yeah. So after this UFO sighting above Mexico City, of course, word of it got out throughout the ufology community, and it made its way to our boy, Dr. J. Allen Hynek. Now, Hynek said that Montiel was supposed to, after talking with him for a while, was supposed to go on public Mexican television to talk about what he had seen.
Quick question. Is he the one who came up with the close encounter scale?
Yes, he's the one that, yes, the Hynek scale, yeah.
Okay. I remember the thing. Cool.
Hey, and that was from kind of far away, like a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like episode like 7 that we did that.
Yeah, damn, that was a long time ago, bro.
Yeah, crazy. I was gonna say we could revisit it, but I don't think there's really much to revisit.
Nope. I mean, we could make it funnier, probably.
I think we could do a much better job of it for sure, because that episode was like 30 minutes or something. But yeah, we'll think about it.
Well, so Montiel was supposed to go on public television in Mexico, right? And now at the time in the 70s, being in Mexico, I assume there was like 2 channels, and he was supposed to go on one of the 2 to talk about this. But he never showed up to the studio. Now, upon being asked why afterwards, by Hynek, Montiel said that he was on his way to the studio, but his car was run off of the road by another car. Then a strange man wearing all black approached Montiel from the car who ran him off and basically told him that it would be a good idea to not go public about what he had seen in the skies above Mexico City. Kind of like hey, maybe you shouldn't go do that public appearance.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh. Uh-oh.
So that is not good. If it reminds me of the story from Dan Aykroyd, right? Everybody knows Dan Aykroyd, right? The actor, big in the 80s, Ghostbusters, all that shit.
Yeah, he was in Blues Brothers, right?
Oh yeah, in Blues Brothers. Super into the paranormal, super into UFOs in real life, and he was filming, and I forgot what the name of the show was. It was a show getting off the ground about UFOs, about this type of shit that he was making, and he was on like a cigarette break or something outside of the studio, and a man in black, in a black car, pulled up, got out, kind of gave him like a look, like, you sure you should be doing this? Kind of like this ominous feeling. And then, if I remember correctly, the show got canceled like shortly after that.
I've heard of that.
It kind of reminds me of that. You did hear about that, right? So it kind of reminds me of Montiel's case, where he was going to go live with this shit and start making a show about it, or go public. And then somebody showed up and was like, nah, man, nah, don't go to that studio.
The powers that be. And also, too, another thing I forgot to point out, I guess I didn't really think anything of it, but I was having a lot of computer trouble today, too, as before we went into this episode. I mean, one of my fucking screens isn't working, and then my computer shut off randomly.
And now some people might be saying, well, Tasker, you're not the one who's into this stuff, right? Why are they going after you? Well, remember, they seem to go after the friends.
That's right. They go after the friends first. That's how they get it, because they know they could really squeeze shit out of you.
Yeah. So if people start asking you about the shit I've been looking up about UFOs and aliens, don't sell me out, man.
Yeah. All I got to say is, thanks, bud. Appreciate taking the fall for you.
I'm glad my friendship has been fruitful to you.
As long as I get my screen working, I swear to fucking God, if it starts working like after the episode today, like, okay, maybe I'll kind of believe this a little bit more.
All right. Well, let's see. I hope it works. That way we have some proof.
As Nick like deploys his like finest Geek Squad member to get to my house when I'm gone.
All right. Well, now we move on to the latter end of the 1970s with some great cases. And the first one took place on September 11th, never forget, 1976. Yeah, September 11th, man. That kind of reminds me of...
Of what?
September... Oh, it's my cousin's birthday. That's what it is.
That's great. But you remember back when September was just a month.
Yeah, now it's like a whole month of patriotism and
nationalism. Yeah, that's unfortunately true.
Even though, it was an inside job.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's one of those things where one of these days we'll have to get into that episode. We just have to, find a way to do it with respect.
Gee. Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
And by Nick's reaction, you could see why we're still working on that.
I have nothing nice to say about 9/11. I think it was a rude day.
In fact, maybe we could be one of the first who does do a very disrespectful look into 9/11.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
Yeah, good point. Good point. In fact, I think MIB will be happy that we're going into that instead of them.
Exactly. So this case, and this is kind of a popular case for those who have looked into the Men in Black phenomenon before, is about a man named Dr. Herbert Hopkins, who was a general practitioner out of Orchard Beach, Maine. And by being a GP, he does a lot of shit, right? Checks your knees, he hits it with the hammer, makes sure it goes up or whatever the fuck. I don't know why they do that shit. Tells you to open your mouth, Yeah. And then puts a rod in there.
Yeah. Are you implying something, Nick?
I'm just saying I don't trust doctors, homie. They just seem like rapists, Telling you to bend over and like spread your cheeks. I'm like, come on, what is this, dude? High school? I'm not gonna do that shit.
I mean, most cases they're fine, but I mean, there's also like that huge case of the Olympic doctor for like the women's, and it turned out he'd like molested like over like 40 like young girls and stuff, and yeah, his ass is behind bars forever because luckily that shit finally came around. But be careful and speak up.
Speak up. If somebody touches you in a no place and you didn't want that, make sure you say something, all right? Because you could save other people. I watched that documentary. It was brutal. It is not fun to watch, but it's a sad reality. So if people start groping you, right? If you're even, no matter what, all right, if you don't want it, say something. But also don't be the people that just never mind. I'm not gonna. I'm not
well,
gonna
that's good. Well, whatever you were about to say, I'm glad you held it back because you had this great like the more you know, like fucking Rainbow Road, whatever that show is. It's a good one for the kids. Yeah, we're a kids podcast, remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that with all the gun talk and the no place talk.
Baby's first gun control and like talk about an AK-47 to your toddler.
Yeah, exactly. So, see if something happens, say something. That's all I'm going to say.
This is a family podcast.
That's right. We care about the family here. So, Dr. Hopkins was not only a general practitioner, but he also had some experience in hypnosis as a form of unconscious hypnotic regression, which is pretty dope. And as many of you out there might know, this is a prime way to recall suppressed or lost memories from alien abductions.
Mm.
And this is exactly what he was doing at the time of his encounter. So there was a man named David Stevens who said he was abducted by extraterrestrials in October of 1975, and he was working with Dr. Hopkins through hypnosis to obtain some lost memories of his experience. And this is where Hopkins fucked up, all right? Because someone out there was not happy about him helping an abductee in this manner. Which makes sense.
Yeah. No, yeah.
If you're the Men in Black, no, I should put it this way. If you're a doctor and you're a general practitioner, stick with it, man. Stick with putting wooden rods in people's mouths and checking for herpes or whatever they're doing. Do all that shit. Don't get into hypnotic regression because you're going to step on some toes.
Yeah, you're going to delve into you're going to bite off a little bit more than you could chew. Go into a realm that you might not fully understand.
Yeah, and then that's when you open your doors to being visited by fucking Men in Black. So congratulations, Dr. Hopkins.
That's like the whole thing of like trying to do like basic magic, but not really knowing what you're doing. Like you said, it might be pretty harmless, but also you could be opening the door to shit, just like with those like Shadow Man games or whatever the fuck.
Yep. Exactly. You got to know what you're doing before you do it. And if it's something you really want to take on, then sure, do some hypnotic regression. But just know you might get a visit from people who are not happy about it.
Mm-hmm. Just be ready.
So on that night, 9/11, if you will, Hopkins' phone rang at home. Now he answered, and someone claiming to be from the New Jersey UFO Research Organization, or Njuforo. I take it back. It sounds Japanese.
Yeah, I was about to say it sounds like some kind of like samurai.
Somebody claiming to be from that research organization was on the line. Now, this person on the phone wanted to talk to him about the Stevens abduction case he was currently doing hypnosis sessions for. And for some strange reason, admittedly by Hopkins himself, by the way, he invited the man over to his house for a bit of a chat.
Ballsy.
Now, he didn't even know the man's name. He invited him to his own house. There's definitely some type of paranormal influence at play here.
Oh, it was the creepy guy who invited him. I thought he himself invited the person on the phone over. I thought he was just doing it. Oh, okay. So I did get that right. He's fucking balls to the wall, alpha as fuck. God damn.
He's like, oh, you want to hear about it? Yeah, come on over, asshole. You know, like that kind of thing.
I'll tell you right to your face.
And I'll give you a checkup while you're here, too.
Crazy.
Anyway, the two hung up on the phone. They had finished talking, and the man was going to head over to his house. And since it was dark out, Hopkins made his way to the door to turn on the porch light for the upcoming visit. Now, here is red flag numero uno, okay? The man, of course, looking strange and wearing all black, was already walking up the front steps of Hopkins' house to his door when he went to go turn the light on.
So either he's teleporting or he was just right outside of his house.
Now, that's an interesting thing you bring up on the second here. So some may attempt to explain this away by saying it was a car phone, right? And yes, car phones had been around for a little while by this time, but they were definitely not common until the 80s. And admittedly, there was no car that Hopkins could see outside that he did not recognize.
Unless the neighbors are in on it. That's a little sketchy.
It's a little suspicious, man. How they just appear and disappear out of nowhere.
Weird.
Now, despite all of this, that weird influence I was talking about was still overtaking Hopkins, and he just kind of opened the door for the guy, no questions asked, and let him into his house.
Oh, so he might not be just surging with testosterone. I mean, he might be being like influenced to like let him in and stuff.
Totally. Yeah, there's something going on. There's something going on where he is like being not forced, but kind of coerced into complying.
Like hypnotized.
Oh, using his own powers against him.
Oh, what a twist. See that? The one thing that MIB's got is that dramatic irony. So I'll give him that.
Hell yeah, man. So here is a description of the man from Dr. Hopkins. Quote, "The man's clothes and Homburg hat were utterly black. His suede gloves were gray. His skin was deathly white, and his body was skinny in the extreme, as was evidenced by the fact that the man's wrinkle-free suit was clearly way too large for his sickly-looking skeletal frame." Unquote.
Weird. So he's kind of got like a talking heads thing going on, the big old suit.
Exactly. Like trying to fit into a human clothes kind of a thing. Yeah.
Ooh.
And as we expected, when the man removed his hat, not a fucking follicle of hair in sight. I spelled sight wrong. Awesome. Not even any stubble, right? It was as smooth as Tasker's bottom.
It is quite smooth.
I know. I felt it.
Which is shocking because it's like I feel like I got like hair everywhere else except my butt and my head.
Hey, man. Just one of God's little games, you know?
I guess so. I mean, I'm an unwitting participant.
So not only was the top of his head smooth, but the dude had no eyebrows or eyelashes. All right.
Even back then, that was an odd style.
Yeah, it's a weird choice if it was a choice. Now, something striking was the contrast between the man's albino white skin and his bright red lips. Okay. Now keep that in mind in a little bit.
Creepy.
Hopkins' dog, a German Shepherd, was deathly afraid of the man and spent most of the man's visit pooping his puppy Pampers in the other room. And German Shepherds, as we all know, are known to be confident. We'll say confident dogs when it comes to weird situations.
They're definitely like alpha dogs for sure. Like, I mean, my grandpa used to have this huge German Shepherd, and man, that thing was protective as hell and was super cool. But like when they're freaking out, like just like how like, you know, dogs and animals kind of have this like sense of like, you know, like when an earthquake's about to happen or some natural disaster, when they start freaking out for almost no reason for something that seems it's like it's not a threat, you should take that seriously.
Exactly. Dogs have a sense of things that we cannot see or feel. So take it serious.
How's Kiwi's instinct in the sense? Your pug.
It's
special.
It's flawed. Well, no, I will say he's a smart boy. He is a smart boy. There was one time that really freaked me out where I was sitting in my living room and there's a window to my right, looks out to the street or whatever. And sitting there and fucking for like half an hour, he was staring at the ceiling above the window. I would call his name. He wouldn't look. And if he did look, he looked briefly at me, like with his weird buggy eyes, like he was worried about something, and then look right back at that spot on the ceiling. It was very strange. There was nothing on the ceiling, of course, that I could see at least. So that freaked me out.
Weird. Yeah, maybe it was some kind of camouflage, either creature or ghosties, something like that.
Yeah, they better be careful, man. I'm packing now, dude. I don't care if it goes right through him. It's the threat that matters.
Yeah. No concealed carry laws here, so
take him out, man. So the man in black didn't fuck around, right? So as soon as they sat down, he began asking Hopkins about the Stevens abduction case. During the initial talk, Hopkins noted that the man had no accent, no emotion, and his mannerisms were, of course, robotic in nature.
All the classics.
Now, at some point during the talk, the man in black placed the back of his hand to his mouth, and once removed, Hopkins saw that the area on the glove which had touched his mouth was now smeared red. This dude was wearing lipstick.
Huh.
Now, guys, it's 2021. We have TikTok. All right. We have femboys. We have all kinds of shit. Okay. In the 1970s,
not a thing.
Two types of guys wore lipstick. All right. We had aliens/robots or Nancy boys. Okay. Now you pick which one this Men in Black is.
For the time. Yeah. And that is a product of that era of, back then boys just did not wear makeup at all. Unless you were like Bowie or something like that.
Right, but you had to earn it. You had to be like Bowie and earn that,
Yeah,
you know?
it had to be like part of your act. It had to be part of a performance or something. But like on the regular, not super well accepted.
Yeah, so it's not us being closed-minded. It's the 70s. I'm just saying it how it is, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, after a bit of questioning, the conversation took a turn for the threatening, basically. The man in black said to Hopkins that he had 2 coins in his left pocket. That Hopkins had coins in his pocket, right? It wasn't a question. He wasn't like, do you have any coins in your pocket? He was like, there are 2 coins in your pocket.
Oof. He David Blained him.
Yeah. Yeah. And upon checking, wouldn't you know it, Hopkins determined this to be true. He had 2 coins in his left pocket. Then Lipstick Boy told Hopkins to take a coin out and hold it in the palm of his hand, and he did so. Then he told the good doctor to keep his eyes on the coin, right? He didn't want her to think there's any fuckery going on, so he's like, look at the coin, continue to look at the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. Now, as Hopkins stared at the coin, it turned into a blue color, and that became, it then went from like a metallic shine to like blurry kind of in nature, started turning into like a blur, like it was glitching. And then it turned into vapor, and then it disappeared into the ether.
Ooh, so that's the MIB equivalent of like showing off the heat that you're packing.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So the man in black then said to Hopkins that Barney Hill, someone who most of you out there should hopefully know, but we will probably cover in the future, died because he didn't have a heart, just as Hopkins no longer had a coin.
Ooh, that sucks for him.
It was a clear threat, right? It was a clear and present threat from the man in black.
Mm-hmm.
However, now I should be pointing this out because the ufologist in me doesn't want to say this, but I have to. It should be noted that Barney Hill died allegedly. This is what has officially been told to us, from a cerebral hemorrhage, and very much did have a heart in the end. But I will say again, allegedly.
Mm-hmm. So either MIB was bluffing, but like maybe not.
They were probably bluffing. I feel like this encounter happened and it was them MIB, but I think that they were bluffing because I don't think they expected, especially in the 70s, they didn't expect them to know how he died. Like I can look it up on Wikipedia today, be like, oh, that's how Barney died allegedly.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, you take the dude's word for it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, like you said, it was a more trusting time. It was more like you took things more at face value instead of today where we have to second guess and doubt literally everything and anything because everything and anything is out to get us. But it sounds also that like the MIB is not as dangerous as I expected as far as we've gotten. It just seems like they just kind of threaten you and just try to like, change the direction in which you're going and stuff like that. But it doesn't sound like they directly like attack people, which is comforting.
Right. They don't. They will harass. They will continue to harass until you stop doing whatever they want you to stop doing. But they don't like beat you up in an alley and take your lunch money. Like they don't do that shit, And there is a theory that tries to explain that, which we'll get into next episode.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because they're not going to like raise their hand and suddenly your like liver's gone and then it's over.
Yeah, exactly. But they'll threaten it. And usually it works because if you see a dude make a fucking coin disappear out of your hand, you'll believe anything he says.
True. But so could David Blaine. So who's to say this is just a traveling troupe of installation art magicians?
Look, man, if David Blaine could make a coin disappear from my hand by turning blue and then blurry and then vanish, I'll say he's a magician. But he's or like a real magic dude, but David Blaine is a con artist and a crackhead.
What about Chris Angel? Didn't he actually have to make a statement that he wasn't supernatural because his stuff was so convincing that people were like starting to like do the old burn the witch call?
Yeah, but also with Chris Angel, he had a television show, so they could, all that production, and it made it look a lot more real than it was,
Yeah, that's true.
The man in black told Hopkins to destroy all data about the Stevens abduction case he had been working on. He then finished by saying that he would find out if Hopkins ceased his work or not, implying he would be back to kill him if he did not stop working with Stevens. So, while wrapping up his threat, the man in black's speech started to throttle, slowing down like he was losing charge or something, like a battery. So he was like, I will kill you and I will be there. Like that kind of shit.
I have a theory, but I don't know if I should hold off and wait till next episode.
Well, let's hear about it. Let's hear it.
They sound like drones. Like the MIB themselves are drones sent to like, it's like a Roomba for like an alien race or something like that. That just kind of does the cleaning up for them.
Right. That is an interesting theory. We'll touch on it briefly next episode, but yes, that is one of the major theories, is that they are in fact androids. Much like there are theories that gray aliens are androids for the tall whites, right? Like that do their dirty work. Perhaps the men in black are androids that do the dirty work for a species of aliens we don't know which species. And
apparently their charge lasts less than 2 hours, so also good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what the hell? I mean, at least have like a portable battery pack so you don't look like a fucking idiot in the middle of a threat, you know?
They're already wearing the fucking suit and everything. Like, what's one more like fucking battery pack gonna do, you know?
So the man in black stood up, very unsteadily, by the way, and walked towards the door clumsily. And while walking down the porch stairs to the driveway, the man had to hold onto the rail in order to balance himself. And once on the driveway, a huge light, a very bright light, appeared, blinding Hopkins. So he ran to the kitchen window for a better view, hoping that he could see around whatever light it was, which was only seconds later. But of course, upon reaching the kitchen window, the light and man in black had vanished into the night.
Oh, man. By the way, are you hearing that kind of electronic interference noise?
I'm not.
It was like this.
No, I don't hear anything. I didn't hear anything.
Weird. Okay.
Oh, man, you're getting fucked. You are fucked, man.
It's over for me.
Oh, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. This is all my fault, too.
Well, let's see. It might show up in the recording. So, yeah, if you, listener, heard that, that's what I heard. And it was weird.
Because it's not on my end, I'll tell you that. That's not good. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's just like equipment or like something like jiggling around or something.
I hope so, too, for your sake.
Because, yeah, now it's stopped completely. Like, what?
Whatever. You just brought attention to it. That's why.
I'm digging a hole.
Holy shit, that sucks. Man.
Damn it.
Tough break, homie.
I guess I'm fulfilling my role on the show.
Well, Hopkins wasted zero time, okay? And so this whole time that this guy was at his house, his wife and kids were at the movie theater, right? They were fucking watching a movie. When they got home, he told his wife what happened and basically was freaking out. He then proceeded to demagnetize all of his tapes of the hypnosis sessions, and threw the tapes, his notes, his files, all that shit into the fireplace to burn. He took the threat very seriously.
Yeah, I've noticed that's a big thing, especially with paranormal, supernatural. Always keep those magnets handy. And also, you should always, when your bro passes away, magnet his computer.
Help him out, man. Help him out.
Do a solid. There was one show. It's the only time I've ever seen this in a TV show where the main character like dies in the beginning. He gets reincarnated, but then we have a flash to like the world he left behind, and there's like all of his friends like after the funeral going to his place, and then there's this shot of them looking up, like looking down at something, and they see it's them like dropping his computer into the bathtub.
Yeah, good call. Well, is this an anime?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's an isekai.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And not a good one either, but like that was just one scene in particular. I was like, that's great, and it's great to see homies, actually falling through.
It's homies being homies. It's like at the gym, if you die in a lifting accident, your homie will first put more weight on the bar and then call 911.
Always put more weight on your homie's bar if they die in the gym. That is just everyone should know that. That should be a given.
Exactly. Goddamn, what a good rule to live by.
It's tragic, but like kind of funny.
We made that pact back in the day when we were working out together. We said if one of us got injured, wait and then call put more weight on, then 911.
And then it's like, well, then you might be asking, listener, like, oh, but what if they die? Trust me, it'll be worth it because you died pulling this fucking like 4 plates on a fucking chest press.
And because they're gonna take pictures of your body, and you want that 405 on your chest. Trust me.
That's just great because that's gonna be in a file forever.
Yep. So even though Hopkins followed the Man in Black's instructions and got rid of all of this shit he'd been working on for this case, for about another week after that, he was plagued with nightmares of the man he had seen at his house, as well as telephone interference, of course. Now, after that week, the activity ceased. So what I believe happened is this week, even though he had done everything that the Man in Black said to do, this week of harassment was basically the Man in Black's way to poke at Hopkins and basically say, hey, man, this is serious. I know you burnt it, but don't get back into this shit. I'm telling you, I'll be back. Like he was like poking him for like a week after.
Damn, just to be sure.
Yep. They take their jobs a little too seriously.
Yikes, bunch of nerds.
So that's the end of the Hopkins case, which is a famous one. There is another case from the 1970s of a different doctor who had his own experience with the Men in Black. Now, this particular doctor asked Nick Redfern for anonymity, so we don't know his name. What we do know is that it took place in a little town in northern Idaho. This doctor had examined a young boy, platonically, I imagine. Okay.
Yes, probably.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
Ugh.
Because there was a strange abrasion on this boy's arm. Here's a quote from the doctor. Quote, I asked him how he got the strange marks and what created them. He replied, the space doctors, unquote. That's creepy.
That's the one thing I think that's one of the most like hesitant bits about me, like with like kids in the future, is when they say creepy shit like that, because sometimes it's just kids being kids. Like I read this one post today where it's like, I guess this dad was like, hey dad, can we play the Naked Man game? He's like, the what? It's like the Naked Man game. Like my babysitter showed me, and he's like, can you show me like what you're talking about? And it was fucking Operation, the board game.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my mind went somewhere else.
Well, yeah, and that was the point. The dad was like, oh, fuck, like, did my kid just get fucking molested by the babysitter? And
it's Operation.
But it's because the kids are kids, you know, they have their way of, so it's like, sometimes some bullshit can happen. Like, I even heard one of my old teachers, she had a young son, and this is when Exorcist had just come out, and, you know, everyone was losing their goddamn fucking minds when that happened. And then I guess after they watched it, they came home. And then that night, their son came in and was sick. He's like, Mom, I don't feel good. And was bleeding through the nose and threw up on the ground. And right after watching that movie in the middle of the night, that's the last thing you want to see. But it turned out he was just sick, and then also just happened to get a bloody nose, and it was just timing. So it's creepy.
Especially back in the day when that was a new movie. And dude, people were that was a horrible movie for people to see back then. And going home and seeing your kid exhibiting some of the symptoms. Oh my God, dude, I would have just thrown him out the window. Like, sorry, homie, I'm not dealing with
Snap his neck and be like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah, kids are creepy, man. And they're gross. Kids are gross. They always sticky hands, like, because they don't wash their hands, and fucking gross, man.
Yep. Ugh. We were that at one point.
I know, and I hated myself.
Nick, the self-loathing 6-year-old.
Man, I can't wait till I'm past 18. I hate this shit.
I could just start smoking and drinking like regular people.
Well, then the young boy went on to talk about how he saw a, quote, low-flying airplane, unquote, in the woods. And the space doctor took him... And the space doctors took him to the craft and conducted experiments on him. The doctor kind of brushed this off, thinking maybe the kid was like just molested or something, right? Like crossing his fingers, hoping this kid just got touched or something, right?
And that's not a great situation to be in already.
Right. If your options are to believe this kid was abducted by aliens or thinking maybe he was molested. What are you going to go with?
Yeah.
And I should say I'm putting words in this doctor's mouth that for a joke.
Right.
He didn't actually think this kid was molested. He just kind of brushed the whole situation off.
Right.
Or maybe I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, it was the 70s, dude. Anyway, so that is so he brushed off the whole situation. That is until about 5 years later when he was at home watching TV, when suddenly a knock could be heard coming from his front door. And that's, of course, as we know by now, never a good sign. He opened the door like an idiot, right? At this point, guys, never open your doors if people knock in the middle of the night, okay? Usually not a good thing happens after that.
Middle of the night, yeah. Unless they're like, your house is on fire. Maybe try paying attention to that.
Yeah, if you're not expecting company, don't answer the door at night. Come on. Unless you have a gun and you. So what you could do is you hear a knock. Let's say it's like 11 p.m., 12, something like that. A knock on the door. You're not expecting company. Bring your gun downstairs. Chamber it loud enough next to the door for them to hear it, and then open the door.
Mm-hmm. Or you could just, buy a ring.
Or you could do that if you don't have a gun. Yeah, that's true.
You get the camera. That works just as well. Or both.
I was trying to get the more Clint Eastwood way in, but that's fine.
Oh, yeah. Now, this gun, man, ever since you had it, it's just action movie life, huh?
I'm a changed man, baby. I'm a changed man, dude.
Oh, the power.
So he opened the door, and in front of him stood two men in black, wearing, of course, all black head to toe. They asked the doctor about the boy from 5 years earlier who he had examined. And the doctor asked them basically, why do you want to know? Like, he was a patient of mine. What the fuck do you want?
Yeah, that's a long ass time too.
Exactly. It's a bit strange. And one of them answered something to the equivalent of, just kind of curious.
Yeah.
And the doctor then told them, and for some reason, and I don't know why he told them, but I think it has to do again with that influence thing, right?
Yeah.
He did tell them a small part of the story, the Reader's Digest version, because he was still kind of suspicious of these two, but there was something influencing him to say something about the case or about the boy. Now, after he told them whatever he told them, just a little bit about it, one of the men in black just gave a completely fake forced smile, and then they both left into the night as quickly as they arrived.
Kind of like
what?
Like that?
Oh, you freaked me out. I thought you were like staring at something behind me, dude. I was like, I don't see anything moving.
Oh no, I was trying to do the smile.
The fake smile, yeah. Yeah, just like that smile. It freaked me out. Yeah, so I'm sure it freaked him out too.
Yeah, no good. That very plastic, like, sometimes you can see some people at the grocery store make them when they're bagging your shit and they're trying to, you can tell they really don't fucking care.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Yep, enjoy yourself. And I'm like, yeah.
So a weird encounter. Now that's it for the 70s. Now, I really quick, I did want to point out there are a bunch of stories. There are a bunch of cases per decade. If I did the whole book, you may as well just read the whole fucking book. All right. I'm picking out notable cases. That's it for the 70s that I brought to the table. For time's sake, we will be moving forward and begin discussing the Men in Black in the 1980s, right? The decade of cocaine and the man flu. What more could you ask for?
Did you do a song for 70s?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, man. All right, here, I'll do a quick 70s song.
Mm-hmm.
I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wanna part from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again.
Wow. You can't see it, but all my clothes are off.
That's what happens when you hear the Bee Gees, man.
They have that effect on people.
All right, so I guess now I got to do an 80s song.
Yep.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain you drive into the heart of me. The love we shared seems to go nowhere. All right, there you go.
So everyone, you can turn the volume back down. You no longer need to blast it.
Yeah, I turned that shit off, man. My throat's not warmed up. I've been talking for like an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah.
Pretty sure you like just vaped when I like brought up the song, and you gave me this look of like, not fucking now.
Yeah, dude, I was like he was like in my throat still when I started.
We do this for you, fair listener.
All right, so we're in the 80s. Our first story of this glorious decade will be revolving around a man named Colin Bennett. And like most, if not all, of the people we discuss in this series, he was another prominent UFO researcher and author. Bennett's Men in Black experience took place in Notting Hill, which is in West London. Disclaimer, I will be doing English accents coming up. I don't care enough about your country to know the different dialects and the North and where's the Cockney accent come from, where's the posh. I don't know. All right, I'm a terrible impressionist, but I will be doing, and I know we have listeners in England, so I'm sorry ahead of time. All right, I apologize ahead of time. Okay.
How comforting.
So this encounter happened in the early 1980s, as Bennett recalls. He noticed that things were strange because of how quiet Notting Hill was on that particular Sunday. He said that Notting Hill could turn across between Mexico City, shootout, and a riot in the old bazaar in Cairo, unquote. So basically, he's saying that it's a shit show. Notting Hill at the time was like it was like a old spaghetti western. People just shooting each other and people robbing old ladies and shit. It was a loud place to live.
Yeah, not super safe or secure.
But that being said, having this area be deathly silent was eerie and unusual. A little unnerved by this, and with nothing to do, Bennett decided to go to his local movie theater, or, to be respectful to our listeners in England, their local cinema. Okay.
Oh.
Yes, that's quite pretentious. The movie finished up and he began to make his way back home around 11 p.m. Now, Bennett got to his apartment, was about to walk inside of said apartment when he saw, quote, a great light in the sky straight ahead. This light had peculiar characteristics. It was so powerful that it had been a searchlight, I would have been seriously eye damaged. But no, despite its size and apparent intensity, the light had a soft, relaxing ambience. I shouted down to the basement of the house where Mary, my girlfriend at the time, lived. She came out and, illuminated by the glow, started to walk up the steel stairs to the pavement level, unquote.
Got a bad feel about this one, Scoob.
It's a no bueno. Yeah, now he's getting his girlfriend involved because he's too much of a puss to handle it himself.
Dragging the others down with him.
So as the two looked at the light in awe, the light began to fade and take shape into a physical object. This physical object was a British Lancaster bomber airplane, which was used in World War II against the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Both Bennett and his baby mama, Mary, saw this and confirmed it to each other. I don't know if they actually had a kid. All right. That was just me putting it in there.
That was a bit.
I have to be real careful with now that we're using this book as a source, because they're gonna be like, actually, it never said in the book that they had a baby.
Yeah, it's a pretty important detail you seem to have slipped up on, Nick.
But they both saw it. So he wasn't hallucinating. She wasn't hallucinating. They both saw this World War II era fucking airplane come out of this light, basically. Now, they knew that although it looked like an old wartime bomber, it definitely was not. And they knew this because of the fact that it was completely silent and it was just kind of hovering there. The Lancaster bomber had propellers, by the way. If you look up pictures of it, it has propellers. And the propellers on this particular one above them were not in motion, right? It was basically there for aesthetics. The whole thing was an aesthetic. Mm-hmm. Now, while the couple were trying their best to register what had just happened, the object then transformed again, this time into a triangle-shaped aircraft they could not identify. And all you UFO freaks out there know, there are a lot of UFO sightings that are triangular in nature. That's just the way it is. So this might have been one of its true forms.
Weird. So I got to point out, it's like they're having so much trouble comprehending it. And then he's like, you think that's crazy? Check this out.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, yeah, you guys like that? Here, I got another one for you.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Damn.
you English people never seen shit like this before, have you? Because you boil all your meats.
If aliens come out and they all have Jersey accents, I think I'll be okay.
I fucking would hate it. I would hate it so much.
Waited so long and they're just all from New Jersey.
Hey, buddy, hey, why don't you come over here and tell me how much you want to come on my aircraft? Maybe I'll let you on for a couple bucks, huh?
Oh, I would love to see your face in that reaction.
I'd be so pissed. I would have no reason to live after that.
Yeah. Your entire life's work is a lie.
Once it took the shape of the triangle craft, it dipped out real quick and zipped away lightning fast to the north. A common thread in a lot of UFO cases even today, right? It's super fast, able to move at angles very quickly, and it just kind of zips out of sight.
Right.
Now, at some point, Mary made her way back to her apartment. That's where this took place. Now, sometime later, Bennett went up and visited her in her apartment. Upon doing so, he walked in and saw a man in black in her apartment sitting with Mary, which was, that's not something you want to see. And I mean, no, Tasker, I said a man in black, not a black man. Don't worry.
I wasn't, whatever, man.
You gave me a look, man. I'm just saying. That's kind of racist of you.
I was going to say it sounds more like when you come home and you see your woman sitting with another man, that's always it's an eyebrow raiser.
That's a, So threesome or?
Yeah. Let's see, either this is going to be really negative or the best goddamn day of my life.
Woo! Here's another quote from Bennett in a shitty and unstable British accent.
Cool.
Quote, Mary nervously introduced me, though to this day, neither of us can remember his name. Another mystery. She said that the man, let's call him Mr. X, had called to see a man named John, who lived directly above in the ground floor. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. I took this quote direct from the book. John, who lived directly above in the ground floor flat.
Okay, so
how does that work if it's above them? How is it a ground floor flat?
Directly, I think maybe the ground floor flat is maybe where they're at, and he was in the place above them.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, that's my best guess.
That's a good guess. Or maybe the British are just, maybe they just have opposite names for things they mean. I don't know.
Well, who knows? It could just be a terminology thing.
Okay, but to move on with the quote. But John happened to not be in. Mr. X had, there, asked Mary through the door speakerphone if he might wait in her flat for a short while, pending the arrival of John, unquote. So, basically, this man in black shows up asking for John, or to go visit John. John's not in, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
So he weirdly asks the neighbor, who happens to be Mary, hey, can I come wait in your flat while I wait for my buddy John? Now, here's something to note. All right. Notting Hill at that time, like we mentioned earlier, was a dangerous place to be. And a young lady would not just let any dude into her apartment, right? Or, again, being respectful to our friends across the pond, flat, right? Instead of flat.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys call houses over there? Rounds?
Okay. I almost signed off right there.
So keep in mind that this is a young lady who a stranger's asking to hang out in her apartment for a while he waits for a friend in another apartment. And she says yes, which is weird. That's a very weird situation.
Yeah, I think that's a good take that you had of it's a shitty neighborhood. People don't normally do that. I mean, you have to be pretty dang naive. And so like you said, there might be some influencing at work here.
Precisely that, Tasker. There was some kind of paranormal influence happening, just like we saw with Dr. Hopkins. So Bennett also notes that their man in black was particularly, quote, friendly and affable, unquote, which is something we're not used to when it comes to us talking about these creepy men in black guys, right? This guy seemed to be kind of charismatic.
Yeah, maybe new era. They upgraded the model. They finally have the 3.0, the next generation, and they're a little bit more. They do their jobs better.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe if we're going with the android theory, yeah, maybe.
Mm.
The couple said that he seemed educated and had a posh English accent.
Ooh.
Was in his late 30s to early 40s, and of course, wearing a black business attire suit. Something else that stands out about this particular man in black is the fact that he had long blonde hair and fairly tanned skin. Definitely not what we picture when it comes to these guys, right?
No, he's like just like a dude, or he's like
Probably
the California model. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, so just flew in from across the pond over there, and my buddy John's supposed to be here.
Yeah, man, those like sausage things and like the biscuits. Whoa, man.
Whoa, you guys make sausages out of pig's blood here? It's fucking weird, man. Anyways,
Wow,
you got
mind
any
if I
places
like
to surf around here?
I crash on like a couch for like a while. I'm waiting for my friend. You know, that sounds very Californian, actually. So I'm so far I'm leaning on that.
It's just some dude from California.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey man, I need a place to crash. Like,
He's just a crust punk, dude.
yeah.
Well, for one reason or another, as their conversation was going on, the couple decided to tell this guy about the strange shape-shifting light that they had seen, expecting some kind of a reaction from him like, yeah, right, like I'm sure that happened. But upon telling him about it, this guy's reaction was as if he was expecting them to tell him about it the entire time, like he was waiting for it.
Mm.
Now, here's another quote from Bennett. Quote, I got the impression that he was checking out our reactions and that the suit and tie, hair and face were disguises, unquote. This last little part may explain why he doesn't look like our typical man in black. Maybe he went a little too heavy on the foundation that day.
Yeah, like I said, I think they're experimenting around, trying to try different methods, because it seems like the past couple ones, like some of them were successful, but a lot of them, it's like we were saying, when anybody gets ballsy enough to start investigating them, it just falls apart completely. So now they're like, hey, we gotta up the charm a bit, put on a little bit of more lights and mirrors and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, they're trying out new things. It's a new decade, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a decade of cocaine.
Cocaine, indeed. They also could just be ripped on coke, and it just made them seem a lot nicer.
Yeah. Anyway, the man in black didn't threaten them like most do. After hearing about the couple's experience, he just said that he didn't want to wait for John anymore and got up to leave, after thanking Mary for letting him wait in her flat for a bit. So he was a polite man. He was a polite man in black, apparently.
Or that's just the British men in black are just nicer than the American.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me wait in your flat while I was waiting for my buddy John, yeah?
What a polite guy.
Now, let's not kid ourselves, people, okay? The man in black was not at that apartment complex to visit John. He was surveying the couple for one reason or another about what they had seen. It was an obvious ploy to get into her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once the man had walked out of the door, Mary closed it, and Bennett got up and opened the door again, and poof, he was gone. Just like all the other fucking cases, he disappeared. So Bennett left and made his way back to his own apartment after that. But he noticed something odd upon arriving home. He had lost some time, right? A common occurrence when dealing with UFOs and extraterrestrials.
Uh-oh. So everything that happened might not have been everything that happened.
Precisely. Here's a quote from him about the missing time. Quote, by my 3 clocks and wristwatch, it was still 11:05 p.m., the time I left the cinema, unquote. So, what?
So it's like no time passed at all? Is that what happened?
Allegedly, that's what happened. It's like, so he left he last time he checked his watch, it was around 11. He left the theater, right?
Mhm.
All that shit happened. Man in Black thing happened. Walks all the way back to his apartment, and it's still around the same time, according to 4 different time sources, that it was still that time that he left the theater.
Yikes. So they either stopped time for him or just completely displaced it.
Exactly. Dude, time loss always fucking freaks me out.
It's creepy because it's like when you disrupt the flow of time, like that's you're basically in like godlike territory.
Yeah. Yep. Because time is fake, man.
Yeah, it's a fucking illusion, bro.
It's a construct, bro.
Definitely 80s.
All right. Now we're going to discuss one more case from the 80s, and we will be staying in England for this one. Again, if there's any quotes, sorry. All right. So we're going to be talking about a man named Peter Ho. Now, Tasker, I want you to verify, is that how I pronounce that?
I mean, you could pronounce it Hugh, Hough, but Ho works fine.
I'm going to go with Ho.
Yeah, it's the more spicy choice.
Ho was another UFO researcher out of the UK and had investigated many cases of sightings and encounters of both UFOs and extraterrestrials. The particular case he had been investigating was about a police officer named Philip Spencer. This cop had seen an alien creature in 1987 on Ilkley Moor in Yorkshire. Officer Spencer had some missing time. Again, something very common in cases like these. Now, naturally, as a UFO investigator, Ho wanted to figure out what was going on in that missing period of time because the officer sure had no clue, right? Because it was his missing time. He had no idea what was going on. Officer Spencer was then hypnotically regressed. And here is a brief summary of the events. He was taken aboard a silver-colored UFO, and there was an alien form of which we would consider physical examination conducted upon him, right? Nothing too invasive, kind of like the whole open your mouth thing and hit your knee, that kind of bullshit, right?
Yeah, poke and prodding.
Poke and prod, but nothing in the butt, for at least from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Before being booted off the UFO, Officer Spencer was told to be careful about the future of the Earth and her ecology, and that there would be an upcoming, quote, ecological disaster, unquote, to befall Earth.
Uh-oh.
So he was abducted by hippie aliens.
Yeah. Oh, one of the worst kinds.
Hey, man, but they're the ones with the open minds. They're the ones, you know, the level we're trying to get on, you know?
Got it. All right, I guess.
So from this day forward, I am now vegan.
All right, we'll see how long that lasts.
Okay, so that happened, right? And then about a year after this revelation through hypnotic regression, on a Friday night in January of 1988, Officer Spencer got a visit from who else but the Men in Black. There was a knock on his door, and upon answering it, he stood face to face with 2 middle-aged men dressed in all black, again, business attire. I never get tired of saying that. All the fucking time.
Every single time. And it's like the same kind of style.
Always the same style. It's always like a business attire where nothing formal, right? They're not like wearing tuxes or anything, but they have like a black tie, black coat, black slacks, white shirt.
I see.
And sometimes black overcoats.
Mm-hmm.
Now, strangely enough, the 2 men quickly showed ID badges and claimed to be from the Ministry of Defense and introduced themselves as only Jefferson and Davis. Spencer invited the men in stupidly. Again, never let them in. Even if they flash a badge, it could be fake. Like in this case, it was probably fake.
Yeah, that was actually a big deal about that, I think, forever ago, where it's like people pretending to be cops and that's how they like break into your shit.
Hell yeah, man. Never let him in. So when they got inside, the man named Jefferson bluntly told him that they were there to talk with him about his UFO and abduction encounter from the previous year. Now, here's the strange thing. Spencer had only told 3 UFO investigator buddies about what had happened, including, of course, Ho. How did these dudes claiming to be from the Ministry of Defense, know all about his experience.
I mean, there is the classic, like, well, governments are always watching us, but well, that's not the full story yet, though, huh?
It's not. And also, like, I would understand that nowadays with cell phones and how our cell phones are constantly being listened to. So I would understand, like, now they would know everything about it if I was talking about it privately.
Right.
But in the 80s, it's a little harder to do that, right? And they did know all about it, right? Because they asked specific questions surrounding the experience that only those 3 people he told would know.
Yeah, a little too on the dot for the limited resources they would have had at the time.
Exactly. So Spencer, now allegedly he had a photograph of one of the creatures on the moor he had seen, and he had snapped this photograph at some point either before or after the abduction. He doesn't remember. And the men were there specifically for that photo to basically seize it from him, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as soon as Spencer told them that he didn't have it because he had given it to a friend, they lost all interest in him, like, immediately, and left real quick. Like, they didn't like really say any, like, thanks or goodbyes or anything. They just like, oh, okay. And then they just dipped out.
Crazy. It's like showing up at Popeyes and they don't have the spicy chicken.
Yeah, they don't have the chicken sandwich. I'm out. Fuck that.
Instant, like, any, like, joy in your face is just drained, and you're just like, okay.
That happened to me this weekend. I went to McDonald's for the BTS meal. They didn't have it. I fucking left, bro.
I actually did get it.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't have. What is it?
It's really dumb, and I don't know why people are freaking the fuck out of it. All it is a basic 10-piece nugget meal, and with I think, like, a Sprite or whatever the fuck, and fries, and it's just 2 new sauces. That's really the only difference, is that it has it's like a sweet chili sauce, which wasn't bad, and then they have like a it's like a spicy something, which kind of tasted like horseradish, which was like, it was decent.
Okay, now this is a legitimate question. This is not me making a joke. This isn't a bit. I have an actual question.
Okay.
Are BTS, are they Japanese or are they Korean?
They're definitely Korean.
Okay. It's K-pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is K-pop, yes.
I didn't know if it was K-pop or J-pop.
Oh, yeah, no. They're like, yeah, the biggest, like, K-pop band, like, ever.
Got it. All right. I didn't know, man. I'm fucking telling you. I had no idea.
Good. Well, I'm glad we can have an educational moment while talking about McDonald's.
Yes. I should have known from the angle of the slant.
And you're the only one allowed to say it.
Now, one thing is for sure. After having more time to think about what had happened, Officer Spencer came to his own conclusion that he really didn't think that these 2 men were from the fucking Ministry of Defense at all.
That's gotta be a harrowing, like, moment of, like, with anybody in a professional field, and you hit this moment where, like, I don't think they are that.
Yeah. I mean, they flashed their badges a little too quick. They were a little too in the know about what happened to him. And as soon as they didn't get what they wanted, they didn't even say thanks for your time, like you would expect a government agency to do, or something like that. They just kind of were like, peace, walked out. So
yeah, it's pretty fucking weird.
And guys, that is it for the 1980s. Now, I know up top we did say we were going to go through the new millennium. We've been doing this for a while now today, and we're running out of time. So what's going to happen is we're going to cut the episode here. We will pick up where we left off and move into the smelly, plaid-filled 90s next episode. Finish off the 90s and the 2000s, and then we'll talk about the theories.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was. There's a lot of this. This was a fat boy that we did the best we could, of course, but we don't want to rob you of our discussions. So yeah, we'll just have to do a good old combo next episode, huh?
Do a nice combo episode, finish off the last of the cases, go into the much anticipated theories, which I'm super excited to talk about.
Mm-hmm. And also too, so when exactly is the big, like, alien reveal thing? Did it already happen? Did we miss it, or?
That's a good question. I think it's coming in I don't remember the exact date. It might have already passed. I don't know. I feel like I should have known about it. Can you look it up?
Let me see. U.S. government alien reveal. Experts weigh in on the Pentagon UFO report 5 days ago. So, or when does the report come out? Let's see. Pentagon's UFO. Senior administration were briefed on and had found no evidence that the objects seen by Navy pilots over the past decade are not of this Earth. So no evidence.
So it already came out?
I think so. Let me see. Just in June. So I don't know. Maybe it happened already.
Maybe it happened. Look, if it already happened and something big happened, we probably would know about it.
Yeah, but
somebody would have posted it on our Discord. We would have seen it on Reddit or something, 4chan, any of that stuff. But if it happened already, then it was probably fucking disappointing, and they were just like, "Oh, nope." So,
Boo. And we predicted it is going to be like inconclusive.
You're welcome. There's your report, assholes.
Boo. Just no fun allowed.
Yeah. Well, what do you expect from the fucking Pentagon, huh?
Honestly.
All right, guys. Well, that was it for part 2 of the Men in Black. We hope you enjoyed it. I had a fun time talking about it. It's creepy shit. I like the fact that Tasker's being plagued with some of these electronic interferences.
Of course, I'm the fucking one who has to deal with it all, which, I mean, that just seems my classic fate when it comes to my life. So, whatever.
Yeah. So, hey, man, remember, don't throw me under the bus.
Not yet, at least. We'll think about it. But it's that whole... Oh, sorry, I got a really good stretch in, and I can't rob you of that. But see, the part where I get worried is the whole the influencing thing with the whole when they start coaxing you out to do shit. I don't know. I imagine Count Chocula probably does with minorities, or that's not what I meant to say. Can we please cut that?
So no, you keep it in. You keep it in because I want people to know that when I say shit about the minorities, it's a joke. Tasker had a fucking Freudian slip.
I meant to say minors.
Yeah, I'm sure your subconscious just fucking called you out hard, dude. Hard.
I think I'm already being fucking Men in Black.
They're trying to ruin your career, man. You just got fucking canceled on Twitter and Instagram and all kinds of places, man.
That is when they make the inevitable, when they just cut up everything I say. That's going to be they don't even have to do a lot of work on that one.
No, you did it for them, man. Damn, that was brutal.
In fact, the way they're going to cut it, it's with all the laughing. It's going to be like they're after minorities. I hate them.
Oh man,
crap. So yeah, Count Chocula episode's still in the works. When it comes out, it'll be great. And it's been just hang tight. It's coming soon. iTunes rate and review if you're listening on there. 5-star would be fantastic. Spotify, you can click that follow button. We do have new episodes every single Wednesday. Instagram is at CEOTPK. YouTube, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Twitter is at CEOTPK1. Our Facebook is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind, where you can find all these links and more. You can email us at ceotpk1@gmail.com. You can join our Discord, which is discord.gg/lowercase b, number 6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. We would get a custom URL, but that costs money. We also have Coffee, ko/-f, fucking hell. We also have Coffee, which is ko-fi.com/CEOTPK. If you feel the need to donate, that's where you can do it, but it's not essential.
Not essential at all, but every donation will go towards counseling for Tasker to get over his seething rage against minorities.
Evidently, that's been my inner working that I need to confront now.
Yeah, man, it's what happens when you're the offspring of the Irish and the Mexicans, man. You just become very mad at the world.
Yeah, it also I think that just happens naturally when you go to college.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they get the easy ride, you know. Yeah. You just say you're 1/16th Navajo, and they'll let you in free ride. Come on.
I was saying more because college is a scam and it fucking ruins your life, but for very little payoff. But is what it is, I guess.
My bad. I didn't mean to jump to conclusions.
Yeah, a little too excited to make a point there, huh?
Hey, I think everybody should just have a free ride, man.
Yeah, buddy. We'll see.
Look, guys, whether you think that my English accents today were appalling or endearing, the truth is out there.
I think they were at least a little appalling, but also very endearing. Because it's not. It's going to be our new intro.
Nice.
ASMR nose blowing.
Oh, man. Ladies will love it.
Oh, for sure.